Lanny Jewell.
Here.
Fred Burton.
Here.
Bob Cesternino.
Here.
Joe Hayes.
Here.
Tick Bryan.
Here.
Kathy Warren. All present.
Okay, thank you. Approval of the minutes, March 19th, 2013, regular called city council meeting.
Be afraid.
Have the first,
Second.
and have a second from Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Communications from citizens, if anyone should like to address the council, you're welcome to.
Is this the point where I should address the council, Mr. Mayor, from my particular item? I'd like to thank the city council again for the opportunity of addressing you tonight, and especially again my wife Mike's. I appreciate Councilman Burton for placing this resolution on your agenda tonight. I apologize, this is a drop-in item again, but since I do not know the procedure of the council, I'm following the lead of my esteemed councilman. At the last council meeting, I left you with a handout to review as to why I'm asking to have my family farm de-annexed from the city of Lebanon. I would have stayed if I had known there was a vote that was going to be taken, so you could ask me any questions that you wanted. We are a farm with farm animals, not a house and a lot, as most in Lebanon have, with maybe a dog in the backyard. I hope you had a chance to review the handouts, as I wanted you to make an informed decision. I would like to thank both Councilman Burton and Councilman Bryan for visiting my farm and taking the time to review my concerns and the council people that voted for us at the last meeting. To me, it shows that you are interested in Lebanon and have an open mind. I called and have personally asked to meet some of the other councilmen and meet them wherever they choose, or they could come to my residence and review with my wife and I, the request for de-annexation of the city of Lebanon. Sorry to say they did not want to come and meet with a citizen of Lebanon and review my circumstances. I have been told by Mayor Craighead and Public Works Director Jeff Bain that my farm is a key to the expansion of the city of Lebanon. There has been no expansion for several years in our area on Spark Pike. Come visit and see for yourself. The farm has been in my family since the mid-1930s when my parents bought it. I know every rock and tree and love everything on it. I'm not sure why both Mayor Fox and also Mayor Craighead feels that it's key to the city's growth. They have done nothing to improve the area, and Mayor Craighead is now in his second term and it has not grown. Mayor Fox and the council at that time, in Ordinance 98-1739, which you'll have a copy, dated February the 3rd, 1998, decided to force annex our farm over the wishes of my parents. Since that forced annexation 14 years ago, I know, and I repeat, no city services have been extended to my farm to date by the city that we can use except for a once-a-week trash pickup. And that has only been used over the past 3 years. For 14 years, my parents and I have paid yearly taxes to the city of Lebanon, and not one dime to improve or extend services to us have been given, and as all the other citizens of Lebanon enjoy. But this is called a valuable piece of property. I have explained to Mayor Craighead and Mr. Bain that it would only be valuable if I was planning on selling it. It's the family farm I grew up on, and neither I nor my wife plan to sell an inch of it. I don't understand the love that Mayor Fox, Mayor Craighead, and Mr. Baines and a couple of the council people have for my property and forcing me to stay in the city and forcing me to continue paying yearly taxes with no services being extended to us. Is this fair that I should pay taxes so others can keep the nice services that the city extends to them, but not to me and my family? The mayor and Mr. Baines feels that my request might open the door for other de-annexation requests. While I was on the planning commission, I realized that we do not live in a cookie-cutter world, and each request has to be looked on at its own merits and evaluate each request before us for making a recommendation to you, the council. The land in question is a farm with farm animals. I haven't been successful in getting city services, and a WEMA fire station now is going to be located 1 mile away from my house, and they will not be able to respond to my wife, my farm, my house, or myself. As stated in the last meeting, for the past 3 years, I've asked Mr. Baines and the mayor, even if he doesn't remember our conversation, that my councilman and my councilman at that time, Kevin Hudson, if the service could be extended and given a bummed rush. I was put off and told to wait until the Simpson-Maddox realignment project started and the chances of running the services were good. Well, the project's been completed and the services have still not been run. To quote Mr. Baines several times, "Rick, it would cost several thousands of dollars and the city doesn't spend that kind of money running services to one person." Even the Public Works Director, Jeff Baines, does not live inside the city limits, and he is a major department head. Why can't I also live outside the city limits? Asking 3 years ago and being told that the gas line was on the other side of Sparta Pike and that I could not tap into it, I now have electric water heater, electric stove, and will have gas logs and start burning wood in our fireplace. We have had to work around the lack of city services. To Councilman Burton's credit, I received a phone call while Councilman Burton sat in the gas department that they are now interested in selling me a tap and getting the state permit to punch under a line under the Sparta Pike. Surprise. I am also sure if Councilman Burton had been my councilman 3 years ago rather than Councilman Huddleston, I would not be here tonight and I would be enjoying the same services that the other citizens have. For 14 years we have paid taxes to the city of Lebanon and not one dime has spent to help us. Now, it has gone above a services issue. It is a life and property saving issue. Again, it is a life and property saving issue. It appears that I am getting a better deal from the county than I ever did from the city. I presently pay the county for ambulance and water service. Since I live on a farm, I spend a lot of time outside, and I see more sheriff's patrol cars passing than I do city patrol cars driving by. The paper reported that I stated that I didn't presently have fire and police protection. They were wrong. I'm smart enough to know that everyone has that protection, and I'm sorry that I was misquoted. At the last meeting, a councilman stated that I was a planning commissioner for the city of Lebanon. Yes, I was. But I would hate to think that my wife and I are being penalized for me volunteering many hours of my time on the planning commission without receiving 1 penny of compensation. I did it for the love of the city, and to be penalized by this council for doing a volunteer job is sad. I never made policy as a planning commissioner, only recommendations. As you know, only you, the city council, can set policy. As to why I left the planning commission has sadly been misinterpreted by one of the councilmen. I left because I needed fire protection from the new Weema fire station 1 mile away. Oh yes, I grew depressed seeing all the other citizens benefiting from the enormous time that I was freely volunteering to the city, and I could not even give my wife the simple pleasures of city services. And she asked me several times, why can't we get these nice things? For all my effort, I couldn't get them for her. The new Weema Fire Station Hall just brought this to a climax. And this is the reason I left the Planning Commission. No other reason. Better protection. The new Weema Fire Hall and Rescue Hall will be built 1 mile to 1.5 miles away from my home. Barns and outbuildings. A straight shot down Simpson-Maddox, and the Weema first responders will be seeing the smoke and fire while the fire truck is still preparing to leave the fire hall in Lebanon, and the Weema fire trucks will not be able to assist unless the city, once their fire trucks arrive on the scene, asks for it. I was asked by a county commissioner if I realized that Weema would not be dispatched to us because my wife and I are in the city limits of Lebanon. Even with that being so close to us, the Weema station will be able to respond faster than the one across from the post office. Mr. Baines and the mayor told me that the ambulances would respond to us even if they were inside or outside the city, to which I stated, it's a county service, provided by the county, not the city. I hope, no I know, that each one of you would fight for the best life and property savings services for your life, your family's life, in your property as I am doing tonight. When an emergency happens, like me, you want the nearest and the best responding to you, and you're not thinking of politics. That is why I am here tonight asking for the annexation. I will be getting better protection services from Wilson County rather than presently from the city of Lebanon. In closing, the relationship the city and I are presently experiencing is very much like a bad marriage. One person is giving and the other is taking. For 14 years, my family and I have been giving taxes, and the city has been taking the tax money and providing nothing in return. In a good marriage, both give and both take. It's been a bad marriage for 14 years, and our side of town has not grown like the west side of town where the mayor lives, and much to the hard work of Councilman Lady Womath, to whom I have a lot of respect. I have seen her fight hard for her area and the people in her ward. Like a bad marriage, all I want is out, but the city keeps trying to hold on and refuses to let us go. Please, please, tonight I am not just begging for the annexation. I am asking for a divorce from the city of Lebanon. Thank you for your time, and I will gladly answer any questions that the city councilors may have.
Anyone else like to address the council?
Mayor Owens, Ward 2. I'm not going to speak long. I just want to thank Jeff and all the work that y'all done on the water drainage in Ward 2. We're seeing a lot of things being done, getting a lot of positive feedback. Got a lot more work to do. I know when it warms up, you're going to get on those special projects, right?
We're working on it.
Yeah, I know you are, and that's all I've got to say tonight. Thank you.
Harry Watkins. I wanted to comment on, I got some phone calls today about the resolution transferring the maintenance of the Rest Hill Cemetery over to Mr. Newell. And I got a lot of calls today, and we were just trying to hope that we could curtail that till we get a little bit more community involvement and some discussion on why we're doing it and what is the objective. When Mayor Fox was mayor, we went through quite a bit to try to get that cemetery maintained, and the city is doing a tremendous job. And I think there's probably still some questions about the legality of deed and ownership. But I think he was in agreement that he would accept responsibility at that time for it. And one of the things that I'm a little concerned about is have we had enough community input and involvement? I know Councilman Burton, when he ran for city council, said that he was going to have monthly meetings, and we hadn't seen any of those to get any input from the community. And I just wondered, could you curtail that till we get a little bit more information? I know Mr. Newell is probably a sincere person, but it's some issues about, you know, the cemetery is on the National Historic Register, and there are some limitations about what you can do with the property that's already put on there. And I think there are a lot of legal issues that we just need to discuss, I hope, before we make a decision. Thank you.
Anyone else like to address the council? I guess, first of all, I'd like to express our sadness and loss of Randy Banana, which go with him, and I know he touched a lot of people's hearts over the years, youth and adults. Just when I moved here in '72, got to know him. I really appreciate his friendship. Right now, we have what we have started doing about every quarter, Legends of Lebanon Award. And tonight, we like to honor the Bone family. If y'all might come up to the podium right this moment, and I'll read this, and then we'd like to could award the plaque here to you here in a minute, but first of all, I'd like to read this. In 1927, Charles A. Lindbergh made first transatlantic solo flight. The New York Yankees swept the World Series. The Chevrolet Series AA Coach was the best-selling car in America, and Wilson County Motors was founded in Lebanon, Tennessee. Partners Winstead Payne Bone Jr. and A.W. Hooker began the Chevrolet franchise on South Maple Street. In 1964, they moved their dealership to West Main Street, located in a state-of-the-art facility now at 903 South Hartman Drive in Wilson. Wilson County Motors provides a quality new and used Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC automobiles. Nationally recognized for their exemplifying high standards of ethical behavior in their everyday business conduct, they are second to none in the service that they provide. Current owner Doug P. Bone III began working there as a teenager. His children, Nancy, Mitchell, and Payne, all work with him there today. They continue the family tradition and each encourage the team-building spirit. Wilson County Motors is heavily invested in being a good neighbor. They believe strongly in supporting the local and regional community. They were instrumental in starting the Wilson County Teachers of the Year Awards. They support our Cumberland University and our chamber, and they serve on the board of Wilson County Board-appointed Special Advocates. They support the wildlife habitat conservation, Boy Scouts of America, youth baseball, and much more. When there's a community need, you can count on Wilson County Motors. Consistent, outstanding customer service and satisfaction, and the desire to give back to our community makes Wilson County Motors deserving of the Legends of Lebanon Award. We are proud to have Wilson County Motors in Lebanon and recognize the lasting contribution this family-owned business has made to our city. Thank you to the Bone and family for 86 years of continued excellence.
Where do you want?
Come right here.
Well, you got all kinds of, yeah. I was just thinking this Yes.
I should expect that.
We've got one on our show room right now. You can talk while John's at Well, I was just thinking, I appreciate it. If you just give me a second to thank you all for this honor, we appreciate it. We're honored to be part of Lebanon. We've gone through a long task to get this building built, and we appreciate the help of the city of Lebanon. Hi, Kim. And it's still going on. Regina and I met this morning. She's probably tired of seeing me, but we're getting there anyway. So thank you very much. We appreciate it and hope to see you all again soon. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
festivities this weekend, enjoyed the car shows and things. They put on a real nice show for everybody and had a real good turnout. Very deserving award for the family. We're getting close to our big meeting, Jeff, aren't we, on the drainage? Close. I've had a few of them talking about the water's flowing a little better. We still got a few issues, so we got the main one coming up, so, Mayor, that's all I have.
Fred?
That's basically what I want to thank Jeff and his crew for too, is working on this water situation. It has been a big help in the second ward, and that we keep it going like that, we can have, hopefully have it go out. Won't have a lot of water on the streets. One other thing, has the street paving list come out yet, Jeff?
Not out yet, but you know, when you can buy it, should be out pretty quick. Round up that lot, go through and try to get it to you real soon. So that's our first draft, our recommendation, also funding and how far we can go, we'll do something at the turn.
John? Dick?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think they've done a wonderful job on that Wilson County Motors building. It's such a state-of-the-art looking building. I think it really helps the look out there. We can start getting some other things out there, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
Mayor, I just have a couple things, and this might be the time to talk about it, or we can wait till it comes up for the request for de-annexation. It's your call. Just if you'd like comments now or later, etc.
Well, he'll be coming up, we'll have comments there. Just for-
I may want to suspend the rules if everybody's okay with that. Just if I get some feedback. Parliamentary procedure says that no one in the audience beyond comments can really talk to the council members unless we suspend the rules. So if there's give and take, you know, I'll just ask for it, so if that's okay with you. Thank you.
That all?
I'd like to thank Russell. I asked Russell to give us just some utility rate increases for the last 4 years. I mean, we could do this for the last 10 years if we want to show us what the gas increases, the water increases, and the water sewer increases are, because I know that we are fixing to go into the budget process, and we need to understand what our money's paying for, what it's not paying for, and maybe we can fix some of these pockets. And my understanding, and if you did, I apologize, Jeff, if we could have some kind of, you know, listing of a pocket plan, and that's everybody that's in the city that does not have gas, water, sewer, whatever. And if we could have their plan of service, you know, when they became part of the city, because that's always a question. The other thing that I don't understand, and that's okay that I don't, because it's a technical issue, but I actually went down Horn Springs. I came back to Gallatin the other day and came down Coles Ferry, and then I came to Horn Springs. And I understand that we're doing gas, and I wish Jerry was here, and I would have called him actually if I had more time. But it is evident to me that gas has gone all the way down Horn Springs from the beginning of the city all the way to Coles Ferry, and now it's headed back toward Gallatin, you know, by half a mile or something of that nature. And I didn't understand it only because this is parity, is what I'm talking about, equity. If we have people in the city that want gas and didn't get gas, or whatever the case may be, and so if you could be prepared at the next time we talk to just tell us, you know, where we're going here. And just so you know, from a historical standpoint, I understand that we have gas parameters that we must overtake, or else someone else will come in there. Nashville will come in and they will take our area. And I recall that, and I'm glad I've been here long enough to understand that. But at the same point, I just want to ask, If you will look at the pocket plans of the places that hadn't been afforded that opportunity, not that they want to tap on, but the truth is, I have gas, I wouldn't trade it for anything. So if you could do that when we're talking also about, that would be most appreciated. Thank you.
Okay. Going to, old business, ordinance 1343, second reading to amend the monthly credit card limit on the city purchasing card for the Family Life Center.
So moved.
First, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Ordinance 1343-12, second reading to authorize line item transfer for the cemetery department to cover truck repair damage expenses from accident.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Have a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Ordinance 1343-15, second reading to authorize line item transfer of public safety department.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Ordinance 1343-16, second reading to authorize line item transfer for the street department. This, I have first and second.
Discussion. I just have some clarity if I need to, and Lynn, you may want to come up here, and you may not need to come up here, but I'll just get you up here anyway. If someone's out on work comp, okay, let's just play what if, okay? So they come back, right? They're able to become released by their physician or clinician. Those funds that we're using for part-time personnel, Jeff, are you prepared to divert them back to that particular position?
What's happened here, this gentleman out of work for say 3 months, we didn't even pay 3 months, we're using money to save what he's out. He comes back, the part-time guy will not be there.
Okay, so you're willing to do a transfer?
And all the revenue needs to run.
Okay, because I know work comp is maybe now, maybe tomorrow, maybe a month and tomorrow.
We're doing now saving money from full-time pay, putting it part-time.
I
That's all we
understand.
do.
I understand, it's just
That's about it.
it's just a move in the lines. Okay, thank you, Lynn, I apologize for.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Ordinance 1343-17, second reading to authorize line item transfer for the sanitation department.
So moved.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Ordinance 1343-18, second reading to authorize line item transfer for the garage department.
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Ordinance 1343-19, second reading to authorize the line item transfer for the meter reader department.
I'll make that motion, Mayor, but I have a question after we get a second.
We have a first and a second, discussion. Okay.
Russell, and I apologize, is this for an individual, or is this just a line item transfer?
This line item, what occurred with the preparation for changeover to automated meter reading and so forth, we've had a bunch of training time involved, and we have used overtime at a higher rate, and we didn't want to spend money we didn't have transferred yet, so that's the reason for the transfer.
That was my question, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. New business. Ordinance 1343-20, first reading to authorize line item transfer for the police department.
Mayor,
Did I speak to it?
well, I'm sorry, and I may have misunderstood. I thought the first drop-in was going to be the first of new business for the cemetery. Is it the last thing on the new business?
That's what we normally do.
Okay, well, okay, that's fine. I couldn't
Under new
remember.
business.
That's fine, I apologize.
Ordinance 1343-20, first reading to authorize line item transfer for the police department.
Second.
We have a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Resolution 131725 to hire an operator one for the wastewater treatment plant.
So moved.
First and second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Ordinance 134321, first reading to authorize line item transfer to set up the budget for special litter grant.
And I would make that motion.
And first,
Second.
Question?
discussion.
Is it normally go through the stormwater? I know that we've had kind of, it stands on its own and,
You say normal question after the word. This case, our two ball and former quarters, then obviously that other client, clients try to do this way, it could have been a standalone deal, I guess, because of
okay. Mayor, I just want, Jeff, you may answer this, you know, informatively, because I'm not aware. Is this where we go down the creek, or is this where we just pick up the litter?
It's an independent grant. Remember, a couple of months ago, you guys passed a resolution to apply for this grant,
I understand.
and we did receive it. I'm sure we will not receive it, we did receive it. It is a grant we believe will be working with the school system, local electric school system, and we did teacher problems involved, and actually being compensated to assist this. This is independent, it's different, anything we're doing right now. Hopefully, it'll be in some kind of recycling type program. It is new, it's innovative, it's sort of whatever they come up with. We have three to spend the money, not spend all in one year, we have up to three to spend the money. It's $60,000 from the state and $12,000 is our share. Hopefully, our share will be less than $12,000 in kind, 10 in this case, but with some worst case scenarios, you're putting $12,000 from cash money. But it will be a partnership with us and the school system.
Okay, here's my question. I know that all of us have areas in town that maybe get a little bit unkempt, whatever, from time to time. I have a couple areas that, and I've shared that with you, and I've shared it with Patsy. Can we just make suggestions, and if they decide to adopt that area, that'll be fine, or, I mean, I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tennis would do some kind of recycling program. But again, it's open to whatever they want to come with the school system.
Well, if you pick up paper and cans, and, I mean, I'm just thinking,
I mean, any areas you'll suggest to us or give us information, we can check on the codes right anyway, of course, too, but
Well,
I'm not sure of our team and, school
so
system.
this is not the litter critter. The
No.
litter critter was actually picking up trash.
This is a
Right.
whole brand new grant state for that this year, a whole new program.
I just want, just inform us.
Sure.
Thank you.
All in favor? Ordinance 134322, first reading to authorize purchase of 4 12-inch Kennedy gate valves, parts
So
and
moved.
installation water plant. And first and second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Resolution 131726, adopt the local version of the Tennessee Department of Transportation Consultant Selection Policy.
We require this council due to the actually paving grant where we have the federal money, 80/20 money in our budget. And we realize this year we pass this, it's just we follow that procedure from the hired consultant, go through the process, so it's basically a mandatory requirement. We're gonna get that, about $6,000-7,000 in paving money to go on some of the major streets, so I recommend we pass it.
I'd make that motion. I just have one concern. I think our local vendor considerations will come back. This has nothing to do with that.
Absolutely not, this is federal money too.
I understand.
It's locked in.
And I think in our language was, well, you and I talked, basically, if it is any kind of grant, federal, state, then we would stand back, stand down.
This is for paving, so more likely the local money.
So Mayor, I defer on that.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Passed. Ordinance 134323, first reading to authorize budget amendment for the street construction. This is to pave T-Dot for the local share at South Hartman and I-40 interchange lighting project. And first, second.
Mayor, is this from like years ago?
Yeah.
This is where we were actually, 2 years ago, the light department drive there. State estimated our share at 29.5, ended up being 32 something, this is the difference. But they just now done this without us.
Finishing and closing out the contract. All in favor? Opposed? Passed. Resolution 131727 to hire a part-time school crossing guard.
Second.
First, opposed, passed. Resolution 13-1728 to permit James and Stacy Newell to take over maintenance responsibilities of the Rest Hill Cemetery.
So moved.
First and second, discussion. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Resolution 13-1729 to recognize public safety telecommunicators and proclaim April 14th through the 20th National Public Safety Telecommunication
So
Week.
moved.
Second.
First and second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Thank you. Resolution 13-1730 in support of an application for a fast-track infrastructure development program improvements for Project Pellet.
Motion to approve.
First and second, all in favor?
Mayor, is this a code name?
Yes. Yes. All in favor? Opposed? Passed. Ordinance 134326, first reading to approve the waiver of the site fees for the construction of the new Weeman Station.
So moved.
Have a first,
Second.
second. All in favor? Opposed? Passed. Thank you. Ordinance 134327, first reading to approve the water and sewer rate increase across the board of 3%.
Motion to approve.
Have a first,
Second.
second.
Mayor, just to clarify, this is a 3% water, 3% sewer. So it's actually 6%. No, sir, sorry. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, sir.
Water and sewer are equal. So it's not a 6% increase in your bill. It's a 3% increase in your bill. Each one only goes up 3%. If your bill was $50 for water and $50 for sewer, it would go up to $51.50 for water and $51.50 for sewer, not 6%. It's only 3%.
Okay,
Now, it's comprised of 1% for debt service
okay,
and
that's
2% for depreciation.
fine. I think what I said is still,
Station.
I'm still saying that on each end, you're gonna have a little bump. And this takes 3 readings, and I don't mind voting for it for the first time, but I wanna see that pocket plan, because I really think we gotta backtrack, and take just a step back and make sure that everybody's got what they need before we send it down to Mount Juliet or Florida.
Okay, if I may, I was going to ask for special calls next Tuesday and Wednesday. And I'll need to talk to Jeff on this as far as pocket plans and how quickly you can assimilate that information. Because we have to give notice to the water authorities a minimum of 90 days before we can place an increase in effect to them. And that's what we're trying to get, so it will be effective as close to July 1st as we could.
I understand. I wanna make sure he's got his ducks in a row.
So these are the increases that are in line with that when we,
What
well,
we've
project,
already
we
approved.
released all that money.
Yeah.
This fund, Kevin's comments, this fund's no new problems. This fund's what you.
Yeah, that answers my question right there, then.
We're just funding what we've already approved.
Right.
I'd just like a refresher on what that is, but I still would like to see the pocket plans on
That's
it.
enough, exactly. We have that, and I did update that again. We looked at several times, you guys know, not long, we've been so much in the eye.
If we're going to have the special calls next week, we'd also want a public hearing, probably at 5:55 on Wednesday prior to the third reading.
That's when we were talking about also having the budget meetings. All right, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. For the drop-in ordinance, 134328, ordinance of the city council of Lebanon to contract city limits.
In reference to this ordinance, like I said, I've been talked to and talked with the resident many times about it. And, he's very adamant that he wants to proceed with it, and like I said, that's one thing our job is down here, to represent our constituents in that ward and do the respects of other people. And I hate to see him go. Like I said, he has a right. This is America. He does a freedom of right, and it's not the first time we've done this. So at this time, I'll make a motion that we approve.
I would second that, but more discussion, if I may. And I don't know how you do this.
I have a first and second, and now open it up for discussion.
Okay, I want to open it for discussion, but one thing, and if I could suspend the rules, please, so that the owner of the property can come up, just answer the question for me, okay? Yeah, I would like a motion to suspend the rules, please.
Have a first, second, suspend the rules.
And then we'll go back.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. Mr. Jones, if you'll come up here just a minute. And the only thing that I wanted to just kind of think out loud about is a couple of things. I've been here long enough to have seen the annexation. It has happened. It is a precedent. Don't know why, don't really care why. Folks has to come in, folks has to go out. It is what it is, etc. My understanding is that your parcel, and I'm giving raw numbers, Russell, so please forgive me, draws $200 a year in its present state. It's unimproved. It's the way it was when it was annexed. It was annexed by the city. The other thing that I want to just kind of pose, everybody has their pictures here, and it's very clearly, and Paul, is this ag? Is it zoned agriculture or residential? It's R1. I don't think it really matters. Might make a little bit on the
farm.
It's R1A. So, but that's okay. I just thought maybe it's still under ag, but that's okay. One thing I thought, and I talked to Rob just briefly about it, and we're thinking, and I think you've spoken to various council members, and I appreciate everybody that made their way out of there and saw, kind of put their eyes on it. But one thing I wanted us to just kind of consider is just this, okay? The situation is, we make $200 a year on this parcel, okay? Since '98, we've not serviced it, not with anything except a garbage can. We've had the option of and that is a valuable service, I would indeed agree. The other thing I wanted to ask council to kind of think about, and I called Rick and Mr. Jones, and I asked him, if we were, okay, at some point we thought this was a big booming developing area. For whatever reason, and sometimes it happens, as we well know, sometimes it doesn't. But what I asked Mr. Jones is, I said, what if we actually put some type of language that said, upon development of any kind, I will, immediately seek reannexation back into the city, and thus start my plan of service over, because actually we're running out of time on the plan of service. And when I asked him, he said that would be fine with me. I would happily do it if we have a development, houses, whatever. So my take there was, we don't have somebody trying to dodge development. We got somebody that basically has just been in the city and doesn't have any services, and I think that's it. So I just want you guys to consider that, because I asked him before I even talked, here, I asked him if that would be, maybe quite the heartburn. 3 years from now, there's apartments out there, or what, it can't be apartments, but let's say a housing project, some kind of nice project. Then he's agreed to come back. So my question would be, would it not be worth deferring, letting our city attorney make some language that says, that's fine, you're out for now, but the minute you start something that will generate business for this city beyond $200 a year, when you get nothing. So, and he said he would be in favor of that. It's conditioned.
The only question I have, and once again, I'm anti the annexation, because as I understand it, if that property were sold, where you pass it down, say we're taking something commercial, as I understand it, even if we re-annex it, we would not get any sales tax, we would get property tax, but I believe we would not get sales tax for 15 years once we re-annex it.
And where's that in, I'm unaware of that, so,
If they're,
So
Okay.
there's that. And secondly, my question, we've received a lot of feedback, because he made it a fire and life safety issue. We've gotten a lot of emails from people down on 109 to say, hey, we're not getting fire service, or it's too far away, our insurance rate comes up. What if they come to us? Can we be fair and consistent with how we apply this? And I'm 100% against the annexation, and we've had that conversation, but that's a question that I have. How do we say yes here, and when somebody from 109 says, I'm paying triple because I don't have a fire, I want to get out tomorrow, how do we tell them no when we told them yes?
okay.
And I don't have the answer to that question, but it's certainly a question that I have.
But here's my question, okay, and I'm going way outside that limit. How do we say yes to go down and improve the square for flooding, and not say yes here? How do we say yes, we're gonna pay, and we don't pay? Everything is different. We're not cookie cutter, we're really not. Because we're just kind of a big melting pot of all kind of stuff. But as far as I'm concerned, you know, if I live on the county line and on the county line, and the developer asked to bring part of my property in, and if I wanted out of the city, I would never, ever expect to be told no. And I've seen annexation, de-annexation by certain parties, going through the planning commission, the whole thing, and we de-annex them. So I just was gonna give that as an alternative. I don't know about that sales tax, that's news to me, so thank you for that information, I did not know that. But either way though, I don't want to be punitive to an individual who, you know, wants to be out, and, you know, we put him in.
and as Rick and I, we've talked, I'm against the annexation also. The fact that, you know, we talked about the public plans and what we need to do. I agree, this is one of those that would help the growth and spur of that area if we did a park, because there are two up there, 3 or 4, I believe, other properties just right on up there that would be available. We need to have the sewer on that side. I thought you were on sewer. As for the gas, yes, we need to have it on those sides. We need to encourage the development of that. And if it's as simple going punching under and getting gas there, and also extending a short line of sewer that would also accommodate you, but also spur the growth of that whole area, you know, those are things we need to do. Now, granted, the last 3 years, we've had to cut back on the pocket plans and things like that, but those are things that we do, you know, the council and all, when Jeff brings this information, we do need to be looking at it. As for, you know, the fire protection, you have very good fire protection, and we can respond very quickly, and we would be there if that emergency did arise. So,
And Mayor, one other thing, and I shared this with Mr. Jones, is that I have never seen, and I think Chief Al will bear me out on this, I have never seen a fire that you didn't find all hands on board, both county and city, and I shared that with you. It's not gonna be that somebody has to get somebody permission to come up with a reciprocal agreement with them. We help them, they help us. We're in Mount Juliet, they're coming to us. So I don't want you to be afraid, because, you know, I understand that that's not as close as the other. But I would assure you that Chief Dow would make sure that that happens, so that you're not in harm's way. And I think what the mayor just did is committed to, once we get our pocket plans, to reevaluate getting you what you need. And that will enhance your value of your property.
Well, that would have been great 3 years ago. And I was talking to Mr. Bain, and I was talking to Mr. Bain, I was talking to, and again, I'm a kind of forgettable person, but the mayor don't remember our conversation on the third floor with Mr. Bain, but, and Kevin Huddleston, who was my councilman at the time, I had more conversation with Jeff Bain and my council trying to get this, services to my property at that time, and nobody really wanted to help me. And again, Mr. Bain says, well, you know, it's gonna cost several $1,000s to do that. Well, I've had to restructure my life. You know, I would have loved to had, you know, when I went to the gas company, I was needing a water heater at that time, because I had a slow leak in my present water heater, and when I was living in Nashville, yeah, it was the natural gas heater and the recovery time of the water is wonderful. And we would have had a gas stove, and we'd have gas logs. Don't need that anymore, because I just got through buying $1,100 range, and then I got, and as you see, I passed that out, you know, my backyard had raw sewage bubbling up out of it. And I've had to have the septic pumper come out and pump my septic tank to keep it from bubbling out, because my wife says, I don't even like going back there because it smells like raw sewage all the time. And so it's gradually gotten worse. And so because I couldn't hook on the sewer and it's not being run to me, I had to pay, I just got through paying $3,000 to a company to come in and give me a new fill line. So I really don't need the gas now. I don't need the sewer now. I don't need the services that the city's providing me, or is willing to provide me. And I went down after Mr. Burton was nice enough to go down to this gas company, and like I say, you know, I wasn't surprised when, if somebody's sitting in my office and he's a councilman, yeah, I'm gonna make a little bit more of an effort to say, yes, I'm gonna give you what you want. So I went back down there and the lady said, oh yeah, we're gonna get you, you know, we can punch under that road. I said, well, ma'am, you just gotta, she said, you wanna do it now? I'm going, no, ma'am, I was just kind of curious on what, 3 years ago, I wasn't getting that response. I just wanted to see what I'm going to get today. And that, and as soon as, I didn't even leave out of the building, out of her office yet, before she went to somebody else's office, and I assumed that was the manager of the place, saying, hey, he was in here. So, you know, it's stuff like that, you know, I don't need the services because I've had to rearrange my life in a fashion that you know, I don't have gas, okay, I don't need gas. I don't have sewer, I don't need sewer, because I've worked around it. And truly, and I know some people thought, you know, that's the reason why I had other reasons of leaving the planning commission. But hey, I left because I was helping people get all the nice things in Lebanon, and I had to go back home to my wife and say, and she says, how come we can't get these nice things? We can't get sewer, and we got sewer bubbling up in our backyard. And you're going out to another meeting to help other people? I don't understand this. And I'm going, so, you know, yeah, I got disgusted. And that's the reason why I left the planning commission. It's not for no other reason than that. And then why do I want the annexation? Why is it coming up tonight? It's because of the fire protection. You know, and that's why I say, when the councilman and I were driving down the road, and I said, yeah, right there's going to be the fire department, the new fire department. And he said, hey, you know, they're not going to come to you. And I'm going, what? And he said, yeah, you're in a city. They have to ask the city to come into, you know, Weymouth to come into and fight the fire. I'm going, well, I didn't know that. So then I'm going, now I've got issues beyond the service issue. You know, service issue, you know, that was minor. But if you're going to burn down my barns because of a lightning strike, and these guys are trying to get out of the fire department number 1 by the post office and having to shoot down through 4-way stop signs and small roads and all that stuff for their equipment, and you've got a group 1 mile away from me that can respond almost immediately, you know, that's what I'm trying to prevent. And I need the council's help to do that. I really do. And that was the reason why I'm here tonight, to ask for de-annexation. And I haven't gotten anything in 14 years. So I mean, and the property the mayor was talking about was, it's a vacant lot above me. It's got some kind of weird business that looks like a trash, you know, got a whole bunch of junk hanging around this one building. And then you got an abandoned house. You know, there's nothing going on my side of the street, you know. So I appreciate whatever y'all can do for me.
Any other discussion?
Andy, let's just say, just pretend like, if we say we grant you the annexation, there's nothing to stop us as a city to go back in a year, 2 years, 6 months, to go back and do a initiated by the government annexation, is that correct?
It's funny you bring that up, because I read some TML bulletins from the legislature today that an amendment was made on all of the public chapter 1101 bills that are pending in the legislature right now to, they referred them to for study, but during the period of that study, they're going to put a moratorium on forced annexations through 2015.
Okay, and I will just tell you this,
Effective July 1.
I will just tell you
April.
why,
April.
I will just tell you why that is, okay? Because I talk frequently to our elected officials on the Hill, even though some of the rest of us may not. The reason that is because there's many cities doing land grabs, and I don't mean that ugly, but we're annexing big tracts of land, and at the end of the day, 14 years later, 20 years later, there are no services. There is not a respect for the plan of services. And in Mr. Jones' case, and Ms. Boyd's case, in every case we're talking about, there was a commitment of two things. One to annex them and one to give them a plan of service. And what they're finding is that some cities, not all, are grabbing land because we're, dropping stakes. And we're not fulfilling the plan of service. And that's how that came down, and that's why it came down. It's happening all across the state. It's not for us in particular. But the truth is, we can't re-annex Mr. Jones unless we put up and shut up, unless we actually put our money where our mouth is and says, okay, we're going to re-annex you, and we're going to give you this, this, and this. And that was the whole, in my understanding, the whole reason for that entire law is because there's been a lot of, this is ours, and because folks are competing.
And I would gladly sign anything to say, hey, I'll re-annex back into the city. Because I don't, it's my intent to die on that farm because it's been in I grew up there. And so I don't think in our lifetime we're going to see it transferring it, the mayor said with somebody with deep pockets. I've had people with deep pockets come at me, but no, I turned them down because this is my family farm. And I would gladly let the city of Lebanon a chance to re-annex me back in, and so they can get that 15%, whatever, that 15-year sales tax or whatever. I'll sign anything that you want me to sign.
It's not to have this is his, just not ours asking him.
Certainly glad to look into. My additional question is I question enforceability.
Okay, and
Such an agreement.
then, so maybe at this point, and I didn't make the motion, maybe we should defer this and let you do just a little research. And you tell us, up or down, is it binding? Can it be done? Because, I think you're kind of saying, I want out, but if anything goes on and it's all happening out there, I'm glad to be in and I'll waive whatever. And I don't know if you do that, but you do. You will.
Okay,
Well, I'll rescind my motion if that's what you want to do.
let's put it back, we're back into session
Okay,
now.
so, yeah.
And right now, we have a first and a
Thank
second.
you, Mr.
I
Chairman.
rescinded it, Mayor.
And I rescinded my second research, because this isn't unusual, we don't get this every day. But at the same time though, I'd like for us to do our due diligence, because it is his property. And I'm asking for a motion to defer, to give us just a lead time for the city attorney to just do some homework, if you don't mind, Mr. Gray.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have
Defer.
first and
Yeah.
second.
And it could be brought back upon your lead, Andy,
Okay.
if that's okay. And not next meeting, I don't want to force you into having it done by next meeting unless somebody else would like to do that. I'd rather him take time and ferret out the question.
Also, but, it's like I said, too, and I've been, I know everybody else in the council getting a lot of emails about people that have been in the city way past their time for having services. And that's something we're gonna have to address, and I mean address immediately. When you get that pocket plan done, Jeff, we need to sit down and put together how soon we're gonna get these people services. you know?
And,
I like to have it, because like I said, if some people's been here 20 years, paying taxes, still don't have the services that they, you know, that we should have done that to them.
Fred, I agree with you, but also then we have to come up with a step up for what monies are gonna be needed to accomplish that and all too. So,
Thank you.
all right,
Well, you know, like I said, Mayor, if it gets down to it, we are borrowing money from TML at these low rates to take care of all these pockets. I'd be willing to borrow money to get these people satisfied. We got to do something. We keep hollering money, 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 but over a 20-year span, where did the money go? You know? So whatever it takes, I want to see it done, because I don't like getting these emails that my sewer line is bad and my septic tank is running over and I'm supposed to have sewer. Whatever it takes, let's step up to the bar and take care of our people.
okay. We have a motion, first and second, to defer. All in favor? Opposed?
No.
Okay. Motion approved to defer. Anything else, council? Thank you.
Oh, how nice. I know, I got the bathroom.